in here, but we're going to be talking about and breaking down everything we saw at A2 last night. Really good 450 race. A little bit boring in the 250 division, but I think we kind of saw the writing on the wall with that one, and we'll talk about both classes for sure once we get up and cranking here. I just want to give people a minute to tune in and sign in and maybe give you guys a little update on where we're at with the Whiskey Throttle Club. We've been having a couple issues on the sign up side, so that's why I haven't really been pushing it too hard. Just something on the back end in the coding that we're trying to fix, and then as far as how this show is supposed to go, it will always be live on YouTube, and you guys can comment on the chat room here. But the one thing that is going to be different is that we're going to send you guys a phone number to call in and actually talk with us, and that's what I've been looking forward to. But technically, there's just something we're trying to figure out that we don't have dialed yet, and hopefully soon. I am going in to get my knee replaced on Tuesday. So next Sunday, I think we're going to have to take the week off. It's just a little early for me. I'd be so smacked out on pills anyway. Who knows what I'd say? Probably wouldn't make any sense. Not good entertainment. So let's just probably skip that week, and then we'll be back for the next round. And hopefully we got all those bugs sorted out, and we're ready to go. Ethan, is it up? Because I'm not seeing it on my end, buddy. All right. Ethan says it's up, and he knows what's up. All right, there we go. Shut that down. All right, we got it going. So let's get started with the 250 class this weekend. Like I said, it was a little bit boring, if I'm being honest, because Hayden Deegan is kind of making a mockery of these guys, and we knew this was probably coming. And we've talked a lot about what people need to do to slow this kid down, or how do you compete with him for a title when he clearly has a speed advantage. I don't know that there's anyone consistently that can do the speeds that he can. So if that's the case and you still got to race him, how do you combat that? And so we've given, a lot of answers, even in the pre-show with RJ and Fro and GL. And we've said things like, oh, you got to rattle him. You have to make some physical contact. You have to kind of play his game a little bit. And a lot of people got upset with that. Oh, just beat him. If you're not fast enough to beat him, then you shouldn't, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, so then you just give up? You just quit? Like, you don't make any effort to try to beat him? Like, oh, he's faster than me, I'll just settle for second. That's the mentality of people that have never raced at this level. You don't just quit like that. If you did that, you wouldn't be a professional motocross person. So anyway, we tried to give some suggestions and things, and this class has come so unraveled. So let's start with the heat race. And can I just say, like, I'm happy Levi Kitchen's even walking, that he's even out of a hospital today. Homie did a front flip. What's that Ukrainian chick, Oksana Bayul? Some gymnast is at home going, that was legit. I'll give it a 9. That was crazy. Just straight front wheel in and a full front flip. It was kind of Cameron McAdoo-ish. Maybe Mitch is teaching these guys these things. Anyway, super sketchy. I'm glad he's all right. And I'll tell you what, the guy right in front of him, Chance Hymas, was really lucky not to have eaten a big heaping of dung, because he almost crashed too. I don't know what was going on with that jump face. I actually took a picture. I guess I should back up even before the 250 class. Just the track, like, what is going on with all these ruts? You almost killed a couple of our SMX Next kids, multiple crashes throughout the day because everything got super rutted. And they're like, well, it was from the rain earlier. Meanwhile, smash back to midday. I'm up there watching qualifying. They're doing some prep trek. Why am I dyslexic today? They're doing track prep. They've got a massive water truck out there, and dude is just flooding it like he's fighting a wildland fire. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this is all shaded. It's not going to get any sun. Like, what are they doing? And then that whole, like, the first baseline, totally gooey all night long. And it's like, well, yeah, you were standing there flooding it with the hose as the sun's going down. Like, what did you think was going to happen? It was already soft and rutted. So, anyway, I'm not sure what's going on over there. It's like they like the ruts, and maybe they think that that's making it technical and that's the separator. It's like, Okay, but you're only letting us have 9 whoops. Do it with whoops. Do it with stuff like that. You know, like give the guys room to pass. Don't try to kill them with ruts. Ruts are dangerous in Supercross, and they make for poor racing. Okay, that's my rant on that. I'm gonna leave that alone. Anyway, happy Levi Kitchen's okay. That crash was gnarly. I mean, that's got to go on a highlight reel for them for the rest of the year because, of course, that's how they get people to show up that don't care about Supercross. They go, oh, maybe I'll see a guy do a flip. That'll be cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Supercross anyway. That was really the drama for the heat races. Main event, you're thinking, okay, Levi Kitchen has got to get in this fight if he wants any shot whatsoever. He goes down. Okay, well, that's a bummer. Chance Hymas, he could still be in this. Let's see if he can, throw something down and get a win. He goes down. I don't know if they were both the first turn, but definitely the first lap, and they were out. Just pulled in, and I haven't heard any update on if they're okay or what happened, but they're out, and they're out of this championship. And those were two of the only guys who could run Deegan's speed. So and that's no disrespect to Mosiman or Ryder D. The other guys we'll talk about, but man, the two main contenders who could actually run with Hayden Deegan are out. I mean, and the points, they're like a full race down. It's just not happening for them. So that's a bummer. I hope that those guys are not hurt at least and can, I don't know, regroup and come in and mix it up and at least have some good races. They got nothing to lose now. They can go head to head with Hayden and, smash into him like Kitchen did at, was it St. Louis last year? Where'd he hit him? Maybe he can do that again. I don't know. Make it fun for the fans at least. Because they're out of this championship hunt. And it's really Hayden's to just lose. I mean, if he, short of a bike blowing into a million pieces or him crashing and getting hurt, he's going to win this. He could still probably limp it in. Josh Mosiman, though. This dude is impressing me. Super nice guy if you don't know him. Really, really a good dude. Quirky for sure. And but he is like good starts every week. He's fit. He's scrappy. He's not just giving people spots. Like everything that I'm seeing, I'm super impressed. And he's quietly got himself into, second in points. He's looking really good. 59 points to Deegan's 68. So, I mean, if something happens to Deegan, like that guy's got control of this pretty good. And that's interesting. I wouldn't have bet that preseason. In fact, in our preseason show, I don't think anybody did. So anyway, great ride from Mosiman. Again, he was pretty quiet in second. At one point, closing on Hayden Deegan. Didn't have that in my cards either. And I think Hayden probably just saw that and picked it back up, like had a little more in the tank. Either way, a great ride for him and great season so far. And I'm really just happy to see him put rounds together. Like in the past, it's been he's got crazy speed, and then he cartwheels and something's broken or he's knocked out. So I'm just stoked to see him putting races together and podiums together. It's awesome. Behind him, great battle between McAdoo and Ryder D. And I think all of us kind of been waiting for Ryder D to have this season or this moment where he shows all that potential that we've known he's had since he was on a Cobra 50 or whatever. He's been kind of the next greatest thing. And, you move up to pro, and this isn't uncommon. All kinds of injuries and setbacks and trying to adjust to it. It's tough. Totally get it. He had a really big one last year. And for him, the way he started this season, he's sitting at 55 points, so I think he's fourth in the standings right now. But he's put on some really good rides and fought really hard to get by Cameron McAdoo and did. So great job. I don't think it's his mustache. He looks like he stepped out of the 50s, like some kind of, I don't know, some kind of weird bar. And he's got this little pencil-thin mustache, but he loves it. It's working for him, so I'm here for it. Great to see him finally showing us that potential that we knew he's had. McAdoo, great ride from him. He fought hard. He always does. Just made a mistake. Sometimes I think he's trying too hard. And I know that's difficult to say, hey, stop trying so hard and, slow down a little bit to go faster. But I think that's where he's at. Another big bummer for me, because the one guy that I really thought was the best championship contender to maybe fight with Deegan was Anstey. And he had a bad start. And you just, man, to get up, he got to 6th. That's tough, dude. That's just, you're giving up a lot of points that you can't really afford to. He's got 58, so he's 10 down on Deegan. Not the end of the world, but definitely not where you want to be. And then shout out to, Max Volan, first of all, great ride from him. He's been just, again, doing awesome all year. Same with Hunter Yoder. These club guys are dialed. If you didn't see their Whiskey Throttle show, it was really interesting. We had them on 2 weeks ago to hear how close those two have become and kind of what goes on back there. I'm new to all those puppy mills. I've never been to one. I'm going to try to go make some trips this summer when I get back on the bike and go spend a week with them and just kind of go through the program, do what they do, and kind of see some of these different compounds and almost like a shootout amongst the compounds. Give them do a grading system or something. I think that'd be really fun. Anyway, I don't know what it's about, but they've got something really good going on back there. Chad Reed's now part of their, coaching program. They've got a trainer. They've got everything you need to be successful back there. It's a really cool deal they've got put together. Shout out to Carson Mumford. Also, great ride from him. Kid's super fast, great dude. And then Parker Ross and Varese round out your top 10. So good rides from all those guys. Let me click through some messages here. See if I can answer this. Good luck with the knee replacement. Thanks. I've had both of mine done. Good results. I'm a little nervous, dude, but this one's so junk I don't have any options. Patrick Kearney says, Levi Kitchen was so lucky he completed his flip without contacting the ground. Could have been season or career ending. I agree. Watch it in slow-mo if you can, dude. It's crazy. It's so crazy that he looped around like that, and I don't know, really wild. Dave Sparbs says, the issue I had with you guys was that you crapped on Deegan for his aggressiveness, and then you praise or tell other people that that's what they should do against him. Fair enough. I don't like to see anybody do something just because. Here's my point. Hayden was way faster than Anstey last weekend. Had him passed cleanly, and still skidded his back wheel into him and took him out. And it's your teammate, which I know it's an individual sport. I get it. It's just classless. That's all. But he knew if he knocked him down, he'd gain points and get the red plate. Like, it worked exactly how he wanted it to work. I don't like the way Chase Sexton took Webb out. I thought that was gnarly and uncalled for. Again, if you can make a pass on a guy without cleaning him out, you can shut the line off, but leave them room to stop. And then if they choose not to stop and they keep coming and hit you, a lot of times that's when both guys will go down. Well, then it is, that is what it is too. But I don't know, man. There's a difference here. I don't know who else specifically you're talking about. If you give me a specific instance, I can kind of give you my opinion on it. But it's a fair enough opinion. I'm just saying Deegan's better than all these guys. So if they want any shot of winning this title, and these factory contracted guys are paid to win the title, like, that's your only hope. Your only hope is to knock him down and then take the booze if that's what you get. But if it keeps you in the title hunt, again, this is their living. They get 10 years to try to make it happen, and they're done. So kind of anything goes. Reed called them out too. I'm not sure who you're talking about. Reed called who out? That's G Moore 494. Who are you talking about that Reed called out? Yeah, the track was taking people left and right, and the next class, those young men are eager and ready to race. I agree. I was disappointed in all the ruts because it's slow. It keeps racing like everyone's in a slot all the way down, and if somebody goes crooked, you get a big crash. If it's get rid of all those ruts in between the jumps, then guys can kind of drift from one side to the other and set passes up. It allows better racing. I don't know why it's like they're trying to get the ruts. I'm not sure. Heck Crew says, why are we counting out McAdoo? He's riding better than Levi. I feel bad for Levi. McAdoo's riding great, but I mean, he's already down a good bit in points, more than 10 out. Yeah, I don't know. I just think he's got his work cut out for him. So, oh yeah, Pingo and Solo again. AZ Flyboard Rental. I know Fro was supposed to be on today with me. Where did he say I'm in Louisville today? Sorry, not going to make it back. So that's life with Fro. I said Josh. I meant Michael Mosman. Sorry, guys. Both of the Moseys are awesome dudes. I don't know if you know them, they're like the nicest couple of boys ever. But I do get them mixed up. I'll call Michael Josh and Josh Michael all the time. So sorry, guys. What's going on with Kitchen? 3 for 3 in the tuck the front category. That's from Couch Slouch. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's all the first turn, so maybe he's just trying to fight into that front spot too much, and he's not there, and just I don't know. It's crazy to go down in 3 first turns in a row is just like I'm not sure what's happening. So, how about Freeze putting his teammate Harrison in the finish line scaffolding at the checkers? I didn't see it. I don't know if they showed it in the broadcast, but I missed it. And I've searched online on YouTube and could not find it this morning. There's a lot of chatter about it. The AMA fined them both. I don't know what the heck happened there. I thought I read the AMA fined them both. But like, this is kind of what Freezy does. I mean, and look, I'm okay with aggressive riding and racing in the right time and place. You have to look at each one in its own context. This is for 19th, dude. Nobody cares if you get 19th or 20th, and it's over. It's probably the difference of $100 or $200 maybe. Why are you going to take a guy and just ram him into the scaffolding for that? That seems crazy to me. But how many people are surprised? Raise your hand. Hope it's not serious with Hymas. I know. I felt like he was kind of grabbing his arm or something. I don't know if anybody has any info or if he's posted something. Let me know. I haven't seen it. Did you see Webb say post race that Sexton's bike was turning today? I'm not sure what that means. Sexton's bike was turning today. Is that lingo? Is that some kind of like slang?
No, I've never heard it.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Anyway, we'll get to the 450 class and talk about him. What do you think Feld will have to say about Reed's comment on the broadcast last night? Look, Reedy always just tells it how it is. And, he said he wished they would have cleaned up the track a little bit. And, if you watch, I'm pretty sure a guy just cross-rutted in the ruts in all the traffic and they clipped. And, dude, if you saw that crash of Malinowski, we're lucky that guy's alive. I mean, he like slammed into a jump, slammed into the next jump. I mean, it was like disgusting. Kitchens was impressive, and like you just think, wow, he got so lucky. This dude got it as worst, like the worst possible scenario. Slammed into two jump faces and was out cold, laid over the top, like yeah, it was rough. I'm hoping he's okay. He said dislocated hip, which popped back in. He did make a post, but he's got some issues, concussion, and some other things. So you just don't want to see that, man. These guys are they're so hyped and they're trying to impress everybody. You got to give them the best opportunity to stay healthy in a sport that's already really dangerous. So Johnny Gunn says, apparently the Star Boys got into it midweek. How do you think that conversation went? The top coddling Deegan. I don't know. I'd like to think that Will Hahn and the guys back there at Star would sit down and just be like, hey guys, like both sides, like let's bring the temperature down, like and also call a spade. Like that was not necessary what you did. You can say you didn't mean to do it all you want, but like anyone with eyeballs can look and go, well, he definitely slid his back tire up into him and paused for a second when he just didn't have to. But sure, maybe that wasn't his intention. Sure. So anyway, I don't know. I would hope they just kind of said, dude, let's not take each other out. Is that cool? Like race hard. We're not telling anybody to get out of anybody's way or anything like that, but like just race hard, but race with a little bit more respect than that. That's all. That's how I would hope it would go. Those guys have all been in championships. They get it. But and Will's won a championship, so like you think he would have the right things to say there. But they're not going to ever tell you what was said. Sport's so weird and silent that way. Let's see. Dudney says, whoops, I lost it. Sorry, stand by. Dudney said track was good. Menier, who won, is going East Coast with very rutted mains. That's Cosmic Surf Pro. Yeah, I'll tell you. So I guess we'll talk about this since it came up here. Dudney, I knew Menier would be good, but Dudney really impressed me. I thought that was awesome. And there was a few other guys I thought looked great. Who's the Cowie kid? I'm brain farting on his name. Johnson. We did an interview with him. Cade. He looked great. I mean, just a silly crash, but I was really happy for him. He looked awesome. And that kid is great. If you haven't seen much of him or know much about him, we did an interview with him. He's an awesome kid. So the future looks good for these guys. But, I mean, Dudney and Menier and a guy who got third. Help me out, Ethan. Sorry, it's been a long night. Brothers. God dang it. Okay. Ethan's no help to me, you guys. Send help. Somebody put in here who got third. What's his name? They're the brothers. They're awesome. Good dudes. Landon Gordon. That's who it was. Thank you for nothing. He rode awesome too. Came back and snagged that third spot. Rode really well. So that was cool. You know, these guys, they're used to riding in this rutted stuff back east. I don't know. I wouldn't worry too much about them. Yeah, I think that like I said, the track builders are getting some heat for what. Just I don't know. Just some of the stuff they do, you just kind of scratch your head and go, "What the hell are you guys doing?" Reed called out the powers that be about the track being so gnarly with the younger guys out there. That's Skydragon. Yep. Apparently, Mitch body slammed Freeze in the pits. I did hear they kind of got into it. I would love to see video. If anybody has that, I mean, we probably won't post it, but I want to see it. Yeah, he dislocated his shoulder. Who are you talking about? Hymus did? Oh no. Well, that's not good. Let's hope the ligaments didn't get stretched. Let's hope they got it back in quick. If you can reduce it quickly, it can be minor. Longer it's out, the worse it gets. What's your thoughts on Deegan still being on a 250? I think he should have moved up. Hayden always performs well when you just throw him in over his head. That's AJ Kinetic. I think he's doing the right thing. He's never been super dominant in Supercross. Go back and look at all of his years. Even when he's the fastest guy by far, he'll have a night where he gets a fifth or he crashes or he hasn't really like just perfected that the way you want. And if you listen to Carmichael, you listen to a lot of these guys that moved up quickly, they regret it. They go, man, I needed another year. Motocross was no problem. I needed another year in Supercross. And I think, I mean, if there's one thing that Brian does good, it's strategizing. And he'll listen to the guys who've been successful and take that feedback and apply it to Hayden's career. And they've done it. And they've made all the right choices. So, Sexton bike turning as in no takeouts. Oh, oh, I got it. That's funny. Webb's funny. So Webb's saying, looks like Sexton's bike is turning tonight. So he's not taking him out. It was. He took Webb out. Just took him out, which is, not great. I mean, this early in the season, Webb will get that back. I'll guarantee you that. DS111 says, I feel like Chase somehow managed to win the Premier Class main event and also survive the night at the same time. I'm not really sure what that means. Let's get into the 450 class, though. So, top 10. Chase, Hunter, Tomac, Anderson, Webb, Savacci, Prado, Roxon, RJ Cooper. Let's start with the battle up front for the longest time, which was Anderson and Chase. Anderson and everybody, but as he worked his way back. But Chase, at first, you can tell whatever they did. Obviously, it was the Pro Circuit connection. Whatever Mitch did to that bike, triple clamps, link arm, suspension setup. Chase is a different rider, but not completely, because he also got out front in the heat and pushed the front like he always does. I think at this point, it's safe to say, okay, he's comfortable enough. He can go fast and win now, where he was not at the opener. The opener, he looked like doo-doo. The bike, I mean, I don't think it was him. So he gets it figured out. Great ride in San Diego. Now he wins this one. He's dug him. He was right on the cusp, I thought, at 18 points down of being like, bro, you can't let this get too much bigger or this is over. And he did exactly what he had to do. Put Tomac into third for the night, which was a 5-point swing. Now he's at 13 down. 13 down at round 3 is nothing. If it had gone the other way and it's now we're at 23 points, ooh, like that starts to become a real problem. Great ride for him. You could see the relief on his face. I think the Cowie guys, the fact that Rango, his mechanic, is crying probably tells you what he's been through over the last year or so. And Cowie just being relatively winless in recent years. So it had to mean a lot to all of them. And he's on form. So the question becomes simply this. Can Chase Sexton figure out, and please tell the rest of us that have been speculating about it for years, whatever these little crashes are? Why are you pushing the front constantly? Is it, and I heard all the theories, and I'm listening to guys like Rick Johnson and Fro and GL, guys who have done it. And, I try to take their opinions in, but it's like no one has the same opinion. RJ's convinced just because his head's down. He's not looking ahead. GL thinks he drops down onto the bike too hard and heavy. I think he's over the front too much, just overweighting the front. I don't know, froze back in Mississippi somewhere doing something, so I don't remember what he said. But anyway, everyone's got a different opinion of what he needs to do. And I'm not even sure if Chase knows, but he's got now, the next 14 rounds to show us that he's either got it figured out or he doesn't. The speed's never been an issue, and he showed that again this weekend. He can go as fast as anybody. He's got to keep it on two wheels. Okay, so this is something interesting. Wild and Fast says, I hope Houston is ready this weekend with all this weather in Texas. I'm in Dallas. Bad for Texas. Normal winter for northern states. I was stationed in Alaska and Colorado 6.5 years between them. My partner Jeff just left Houston, and the whole city was like shutting down for the weekend, this past weekend. I don't know what the forecast is going into this next weekend. I think it's still cold. And Texas doesn't do well. They just aren't equipped. They don't have the infrastructure built for that kind of weather. So when it comes, they kind of come to a standstill. So if you're going or have plans to go, man, keep an eye on the weather and, get yourself prepared because there's pileups on the freeway and everything else. Let's see. See what else. Anybody got anything else interesting to ask here? We'll keep clicking through them. Yeah, if anyone lives in Houston that's on here, give us a little update on what it's like. Hope Plessinger's not injured. I think he said he'd be okay. He said he'd be back in Houston, but man, his crash was dirty too. Got to be neutral, right? That's the only thing I can think of, the way the front end dropped, but the sequence shot of it is pretty crazy. He's lucky he just caught the downside perfect and didn't get hurt. Houston is okay. Not a lot of ice. One water main break citywide. That's SQD 371. Thanks, dude. Do you think, this is Elliot Ayub, do you really think Hunter is still searching for the right feel on that 450? Is the bike that much different than last year's? The bike's no different from a production standpoint. They may be trying different parts that they're developing at HRC. And Hunter alluded to that, like they're still kind of tweaking things, which seems crazy to me. I mean, you watch him through the whoops. The whoops this weekend were pretty gnarly. Same at Anaheim 1. And the guys that had him down could just breeze through him and easily get that 3-3 afterwards. And I mean, Hunter looked maybe to me the best out of anybody. You rarely saw his bike dancing. He kept a ton of momentum. And some of that's technique. He's just really good, but I don't know if he's hunting for something. I don't know what it is. Bike looks great to me. And we talk about Chase being, he's got everything. Now just show us. You got 14 rounds to show it. Prove it, He can certainly win this title, but he's got, I think, 2 or 3 guys that are going to be tough to beat over the long haul here. And one of them is Hunter, who has quietly put in 4.22 results. Even at the opener, it took him a little bit to get going, and he was angry. He was not happy with the 4th, but he was right there. And then at San Diego, he was all over Tomac for the win, and he was right up there in the mix again this weekend. So keep an eye on Hunter. This is a guy who builds, he stacks these small little pennies, these little blocks, and he's going to get better all season long. If he can stay healthy, obviously, he's going to be a problem in this championship. Just what I'm seeing out of him, he looks like he's really ready to take that jump, and he wants the win, but he's not going to force it. And he's doing everything right. Just click off these seconds, especially if Tomac and Webb gets up there. Maybe Roxon gets one, but he's just clicking off seconds, and those guys are bouncing between a first and a third or a fourth or whatever. His points are going to keep adding up. So I'm keeping an eye on Hunter. I think he's going to come on. His first win is any weekend now, I'm telling you. Tomac for third. I thought he looked a little just not as sharp as he did the first 2 rounds. I don't know why. Maybe it's the ruts. I know when they went to Canada, it was softer dirt, but I don't think it was kind of sticky little ruts like this. And so maybe he hasn't seen these conditions. Even the Florida conditions would be more clay, not this hard kind of Anaheim ruts. It's different. So I thought that was interesting to me. Could be something else. Maybe it wasn't feel. I have no idea. But he just didn't look as sharp as he did the first 2 rounds. So we'll see. But obviously, no. He's still leading the points right now at 70. So no issues there. To go through the points real quick, Eli's in 70 points in the lead. Hunter's 62, so only 8 down. Chase brought himself to 57, which is only 13 down, and Roxon's at 56, 14 down. So those two are still completely in it. Webb is back a ways, which sucks, and he rode great. We'll get to him. But he's the other guy that I'm still not counting out for this title. I just refuse to do it anymore. So Tomac was third with just a solid ride. But there was never a moment where he stood out and he was spectacular, I didn't think. He was just solid as a rock, like always. Anderson faded to fourth, but I think that was a good ride for him. Just to prove that he can run that speed. He might just need to polish a few things or whatever he's got to work on. But he's close. You can tell he's right in the mix, and that was a great ride for him. Almost got himself on the podium. And then Webb, fifth. I think he would have pushed Tomac for this podium position had he not had that fall. But, if my auntie had balls, she'd be my uncle. So he didn't do it. He fell. Got to stop doing that. But definitely a step forward for him, and I'm anxious to see him, as these rounds get going, because he doesn't quit. He'll build steam. He's going to get wins, and he's going to start tightening these points up. But is it too far? He had such a bad first couple of rounds. I just don't know if that's a lot of points to make up. And you've got 3 guys up front who are just not all 3 of them are going to get hurt. Not all 3 of them are going to have a bunch of bad luck. So he's got his work cut out for him. I'll just say that. Great ride again for Savacci in 6th. I feel like this guy just gets it's like he goes under the radar. Nobody really pays attention to him, but he's been inside the top 10, like deep, these last couple rounds, and impressive, like battling with dudes. He battled that whole main event, and just impressive. So kudos to Joey Savacci. Prado, again, rode really well. Up front in his heats, getting hole shots. He's doing everything right. If he can just keep up what he's doing, stay inside the top 10, what a great season for him. Great stepping stone and learning year for him. And then Roxon, bad start. He definitely doesn't. It's funny because when he gets a decent start, top 5, 6, where if he can see the leaders, there's nobody better in the first 5 laps. Nobody. But if he doesn't get the start, you don't usually see that. It took him a long time to get into this position, into 8th. I mean, I understand he's coming through hard guys, Cooper and RJ and everybody behind him. They're not easy passes, but you would think he would have, with the speed he's had, he would have moved up to at least where Savacci was, at least a couple more, and just couldn't get there. So anyway, I think this is going to be a good chase, going forward, and we're starting to kind of get a clear picture of what this championship's breaking down to, which is Tomac, Hunter, and Sexton, with Webb, maybe Roxon, maybe Anderson, but those guys are in a bubble of like a pretty big question mark. They've got to turn it on and get a win and like get some momentum going if they want to be in this title fight. But those 3 guys I mentioned, I mean, that's who they're going to fight to the end, barring some disaster. So get your popcorn. It's going to be good. Okay. What else we got? Let's answer some questions. Okay. Everybody's saying power's on down there, so that's good. Webb also mentioned something about Prado, like Prado had done something to him. I didn't see anything between those 2 guys, but, I think Webb's pretty prickly right now, so he's probably popping off about anything that happens. I think Hunter is missing his brother out there swapping bikes, and now all of a sudden they're testing on race day to make no sense. Race day makes no sense. That's Heck Crew. So I do think there's something to I thought it could go either way with Hunter. Either his brother's not there day to day to like push him and give him a rabbit to chase, and that's a problem for Hunter and he doesn't perform as well on the weekends, or he kind of goes, okay, now it's my time to step into the spotlight. I'm the guy, because his brother's been winning everything and he's just trying to, beat his brother. with him gone, it's like he has this new role of like, okay, I'm the man. I need to win. Like Honda's expecting me to win, rather than just sort of back up jet. And you know, it's a different role for sure. And I think he's whatever's going on. I think he's doing great. So I think the testing thing, they would only do that on press days. You can't do it on race day. Hugely helpful for the Nationals, I believe, and when they were developing that new bike. I think at this point, I got to believe they've got this bike close enough. It's little things here and there. Maybe I'm wrong, but the bike looks good. I don't see that thing doing anything weird. Like I said, he looks better through the whoops than just about anybody. Looks like he's turning fine. Whatever it is they're testing, I can't believe it's that much. Anderson looked like he got tired. Yeah, he was sick last week. So if you've been real sick, 7 days post sickness, you're not 100%. I think we'll see maybe full strength Anderson by this weekend. Maybe not, but that would be if I'm apologizing for him, that would be that. He needs some method training by BT 101. I don't know who you're talking about, but everybody could stand for some of that. BT is definitely the guys, Cold Avies, and these guys he's working with definitely come out of there with some good technique. AJ Kinetic says if Jason was more fit, he could have won that race, and he admitted he didn't have the stamina. Is that acceptable for a pro? Well, I mean, look, all these guys get tired at different times. It can be, you overtrained a little during the week. Maybe you got a little cold. Your immune system's a little run down. It happens. There's even races you've seen Eli run out of gas and just kind of, flatten off. So, yeah, I don't know. And he has had some struggles with his health. So I don't know exactly what that means. A lot of these guys will get adrenal fatigue or issues with their adrenal glands because it's just constantly adrenaline and dopamine dumps, That's the problem of doing a job like this. And that's a real thing. And then they train and travel and work so hard. They get Epstein-Barr or they get mono, and then they're constantly looking out for that. So there's a lot of things that play into this. And I don't know what his exact issues are, but I don't look at it and go, oh, that's unacceptable. He shouldn't be getting tired. I mean, you could even be in shape, but you get into a battle and all of a sudden you start holding your breath a little bit and you just pop. You reach your anaerobic threshold and you pop, and you got to slow down and recover. Doesn't mean you're out of shape. It just means you quit breathing or you tightened up. It happens. Now, if it's every single weekend, that's a different story. Johnny Gunn says, I've been rooting for yellow bikes for the past several years. I like an underdog story, considering someone has been totally asleep at the wheel, but I'm glad to see multiple Zooks up there. Listen, so I'd be careful, I don't want to get myself in trouble here, but I had a really good conversation with the guys that own the team there, the Pipes family. And I said, I kept hearing that part of Jason Anderson's contract was to help develop a new bike for Suzuki. And then I bumped into Chris Wheeler at the opening round. And he said, no, that's not true. That's not true. And I was like, oh, bummer. I'd heard it from a couple of good sources. I thought maybe that was true. And then the owner, and this is Dustin's father, goes, look around how many Japanese engineers, Hide, some of these guys that have been at Suzuki for decades, man. Like these are going into the 80s and 90s, these guys have been around. He goes, see that? Man, he's pointing them out. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I said, did they just come over for this one? He's like, they've been here. He goes, I have a phone call with these guys, the whole engineering team, for 3 hours a day every morning. And I was like, oh, so, and he kind of smiled. He goes, I can't say much, but I'm talking a lot to these guys. So make of that what you will. I think there is going to be some updates for yellow coming. And I think the root of all that was, and I've mentioned this a million times before, you get management changes at the highest level, okay? Because we were talking about the size of Suzuki. If you look at all the manufacturers, and I've said this before if you listen to any of my garbage, Honda's the biggest company. But when I say, who do you think's second biggest? Most people are like, oh, Yamaha. And I'll say, nope. Oh, then Kawasaki. They make, nuclear submarines and they make heavy equipment. I'm like, nope. It's Suzuki. Suzuki has a huge marine division, and they own the car market in the third world. Go to India, go to Central America, South America, go anywhere in the third world. Suzuki's like Mercedes-Benz of the third world. I don't know if that's insulting to Suzuki or Mercedes-Benz, but they're everywhere. They're huge. You'd have to put Kawasaki and Yamaha together to equal the size of Suzuki as a corporation. And he said that's actually a hindrance right now because they're doing so well in those markets. It's like the motorcycle thing is just such a sliver of what they do. So you have to have a boss, whoever the big guy is up at Suzuki of Japan right now, who loves racing. If they're not passionate about racing, like you go from, just look back at history, they have a boss who's passionate about racing. They make all this development, win the MotoGP World Championship. I mean, it is the biggest motorcycle championship in the world. It's bigger than Supercross by good margins. They win it, and then the very next year, boss changes. Not only do they don't just pull back budget on that, they go, no more MotoGP. We're the world champions, but we're done with that. That happens. It happens a lot. And so you can see it through different years of Supercross and motocross as well. I mean, when we had DeCoster as a part of the team, and then they got Ricky, and they had Reed rode for him, and Stewart, you got these times when the bosses are they understand the value of racing, or even if it's just as an image marketing tool, right? It makes Suzuki look cool and look like racy and competitive and sexy. And that's what they like. They're not probably getting their money back, to be real honest with you. So it seems like there's a change at the top, and now that's going to start to trickle down. I don't know if that takes a year, 2 years, 3 years. I don't know, but it's coming, and that's great for Suzuki fans. So I just got on a long-winded rant, so sorry about that. But anyway, I thought that was an interesting conversation I had. Let's see. Last Cowie won 2022. Let's see what else we got in here. Oops. God, this thing keeps jumping on me. Super impressed by the way that Star SMX Next kid with the handguards was riding. Dan McGranahan. I don't know who you're talking about. Who had handguards? Not sure who had handguards, but all of them were. Look, they were 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, they were impressive. Barry Kuda just says Steve Wise died in his sleep about a week ago. I kind of heard this. I didn't know if it was true. And rest in peace. Steve Wise was an awesome man. If you never watched his Whiskey Throttle show, you should go back and listen to it or watch it. It was awesome. I had no idea that guy's career was so cool, and crushed it in moto. Then went to road racing, was crushing it in road racing. Came over and won the Superbikers event. Became a minister later in his life. Just an awesome man. Such a bummer that he passed away. But anyway. Webb also said Eli held him back. Yeah, I heard that too. And yeah, that means, like I said, Webb was moving. He has the speed, and that's got to be good for him. Dig the new Whiskey Throttle tee. This is a Whiskey Throttle Club tee. It will be available probably this week. So stand by. Sometimes it's difficult to get some of these things up and running as quickly as I'd like, but what else we got for questions? Hunter was already beating Tomac sometimes last year, so kind of expect him to be ahead of Tomac at the end of this series. We'll see, man. A year changes a lot, but just looking at results, you're right. I thought I saw Prado deliberately push down hard on his front end, entering the first turn during the heat to disengage the start device, it looked like. Yep. That's DS111. This is the problem. Pay attention to how deep these guys are setting these start devices, because really it's to the point now. It used to be just kind of help you keep the front end down. Now they're putting it so low, you have to have devices to help lock it because people can't do it by hand. But that way it's like you can just dump the clutch and be full throttle. And you come off the gate like a rocket, but you get to that first turn, and I think we saw somebody crash. It might have been Levi. Went around that turn, and you could tell the front end was still really low. It hadn't popped. And obviously, if your bike is front end way down, it throws the balance off, and he lost the front end. So you'll see, guys, if there isn't a bump or like something, or it's kind of a sweeper where you don't grab a ton of front brake really hard to unload it, or load the front end and unload the the device, sometimes they won't pop, and it's sketchy. It's so sketchy because then you're hitting a jump with your front end tucked down, and as soon as you get into the stroke, it pops all the way up. It's really sketchy. So yeah, you'll see him. I'm sure you'll see him grab front brake and kind of push to try to get that thing to pop off. They both want to race clean, is what I think. And Tomac wasn't informed last night. It seemed a little flat. Heck, Crew's saying that. I agree. Let's see. Let's go down a little lower here. Hunters. This is Dan McGranahan. Is this the Dan McGranahan? Loan me his icing machine for my knee. If it is the Dan McGranahan. And just got that thing set up today, buddy, and running. It's working. So thank you. Hunter is super solid, but needs to snag that top step if he wants to make a challenge out of this. Webb's momentum is starting to roll. ET is only going to get stronger. Agree with all that. That's what's going to keep it fun. And those are going to be our guys, our players. By the end of the season, who's going to be the top 10 surprise guy? This is from Brent Palkovich. Hope I got that right, Brent. I'll tell you already, for me, it's Savachi. Look at, these are all factory guys, and you just throw Savachi in the mix, and he's not just like at the tail end of it. He's beating a lot of them. So he's my guy there. In the 250 class, I think it's going to be either Yoder or Voland. When you understand that that Voland, Max is riding with no feeling on the bottom of his foot, of his right foot. He cannot feel anything. That's why you had to have the handbrake. I mean, okay, great. So now you've figured out how to brake and clutch with the same hand, throttle and brake over here, but you still can't feel your foot. Like, you can't feel where it is on the peg. He told me a lot of times if he's coming off a jump, he'll glance down to make sure his foot's, not like on his heel or it's in the right place. I mean, think about that. You need to have your foot in the right, like what if you land on your heel and then your toe just drops? And I mean, it's crazy to me that he's even out there, let alone winning heats, and it's crazy. So those would be my two guys, or three there if you had Yoder in, because I think Yoder's still dealing with a sore knee. He tore some meniscus Tuesday before A1, and he's still been crushing it. So just keep an eye on those boys. They're doing a really good job. Question, this is Johnny Gunn. Did one of these guys, elite guys, annoy you over a straight rhythm bike? We're not even going to touch it, bud. Hunter's just fine. Let's see. Oh, Hunter and Prado cut hard on Webb on the start. That's from Annihilate Your Buds. I didn't watch that on the start. I'd have to go back and double check, but it sounds right. If he's a little salty, you can get pissed when dudes are chopping you on the start. But DS111 says Hunter is fantastically poised mentally. He does seem that way. He does seem just always very calm in his riding style and kind of the way his demeanor on and off the bike. I like it. I think it's cool. Should they do away with 250 East West and Run One Series? I answer this all the time. This is from Gmore 494. I don't think so. I know everybody wants it to be like this one big championship, and it's the problem is you're going to cut down a lot of the rides, and we're already short on rides. Look at these. Where are these SMX Next kids going to go? You've got a few of them ready to start racing Supercross. Where are they going to go? Star has. They're full. They're full to the brim. Maybe Pro Circuit could have a spot or two, depending on who does what this year. Everything's full, And so then you look at the 450 class. Well, can some of those guys move up, Because the kids are looking at the 250 class going, come on, Max Anstie, you're 30. Like, get out of the class. Okay, well, where does he go? There's 22 factory guys in the 450 class. Like, the gate is literally full of factory guys. So where's he going to go? And this is it's a good problem to have in a way, but also if you can't make a living, but you're going to make $500,000 racing the 250, what would you do? So you can't poop on him if he's within the rules and he's eligible and he gets a good contract. Like, you stay down, you ride that 250 class, you make a living, and you always have your goal to get to that 450 class. But if the opportunity doesn't ever come, what are you going to do? It's like, do you just go full privateer and spend all your money to build a program to hope you can make it on inferior equipment? Or do you still keep going after that championship and making $500,000 a year? You can say what you want, but when you're in those shoes, and I've been in those shoes, took a lot of heat for, living my life in the 125 class, but I'd have moved up. I just didn't have an offer. I couldn't win that title as close as I came to get, to have the leverage to be able to leverage a 450 ride or 250 ride at the time. So anyway, let's see. Supercross race of vets. Bradshaw, Chicken Ping, Wyndham Lar. No. Unless it's like an oval track in the middle. And even then, my knees wouldn't take it. This is where the Jeremy's Whole Shot Kings thing is actually really cool. I don't know if any of you guys were at the Disnations, but we're too old and beat up. A lot of these older guys to race, but a start. Oh, we can do a start. I mean, we had Wardy and Stanton and Bradshaw and all these guys, and I'm just like, dude, think you could get Bale to come over, Alessi would come out and do it, get Stewart out to do it, because they can do a start, right? I mean, it's fine. That was really cool. So, my favorite podcast, Joe's interview was good. Thanks, Eat Commies, 1375. We did have Shimoda on this past week, and what a great dude. My favorite rider, I think, just as a person. He's just such a good dude, and it was a really interesting show. Some really interesting insight into like the mind of a racer at that level. Like he said, he goes, I don't really love it. Like I don't get up and like look forward to riding. For him, from a very young age, it was a job. He had so much pressure from his family. It really changed his perspective on it. And anyway, interesting listen if you have yourself some time. How good was that Suzuki to start with that is still competitive all these years later? Totally. I mean, that bike, that platform, think of how much winning it did between Ricky, Dungy, Reedy, Stewart. I'm missing some guys, but like that package is awesome. And I said this over and over. Put different suspension on it. Put a little bit more compression, a little bit more performance out of that engine, put an electric start on it, and Bob's your uncle. That thing's in the mix. So we'll see what they do. They'll completely rework the whole thing, and it'll be not as good. Suzuki hasn't made money to pay for Ricky's past salary and rate, et cetera. It has to be for Leva Racing. That's OC John. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. When you start looking at what they had to pay Ricky, what they had to pay in bonuses, which a lot of times they'll just take out an insurance policy on that with Lloyd's of London. But that's not cheap either when it's a guy like Ricky Carmichael. They're not probably making that money back on bike sales. So it is really like an image marketing thing. And they're making enough money in marine and auto that when it comes to global marketing, that guy's sitting there looking at it, he goes, yeah, we'll still keep throwing you guys. It's still good for us as a brand to be winning there. So G Moore says Levi's been having problems with the whole shot device releasing. That is a bummer. It would be cool if they could run 2 strokes at the Triple Crown races. I know it'll never happen, but it would be awesome. I've been pushing for an open 250 class for as long as I can remember. Since the 250 4 strokes sort of took over. The power is basically the same now. The 2 strokes make a little more, but there's way more torque on the 250F. So just make it a 250 class. Run 2 stroke, 4 stroke. I don't care. It would be so cool for fans. It'd be good for privateers because they could actually be on a competitive bike. Maybe it's a little harder to ride, but they'd have the power to actually get a start. So whatever. Let's see. What's up with Masterpool? Yeah, he's kind of burned some bridges, and so I don't know what's happening. He's doing a whole privateer thing, but we'll see what happens. Haven't seen him yet. I think maybe just he's going to go outdoor racing. I'm not sure. Maybe East Coast. I have no idea. Someone asked Anderson which can he'll bring to the podium if he makes it, Monster or Twisted Tea. Okay, that's a good question. Maybe he's double fisting it. Maybe it's like an honored. What's an honored Arnold Palmer? It's like lemonade and tea. What's Monster and Twisted Tea? Oh shit! Are we just making a new drink? Somebody give me a name in here. What are we going to call that? Yeah, maybe it's just the El Hombre. 100% we should get rid of start devices altogether. It would slow guys down into the first corner. That's a good thing. I couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. It would make technique so much more important. How do you burn bridges? I don't want to get into it. I've just talked to some of his old sponsors. McAdoo versus Deegan. Is there beef? Not that I know of particularly, but I'm sure McAdoo's not stoked about what happened at A1. But I don't know if there's more than that. Twisted Monster. Oh, Monster makes it. This guy says Monster already makes it. Well, not with Twisted Tea. I think Twisted Tea has alcohol in it, right? Yeah. Anyway. I'm not answering. I'm not reading this about I'm not reading these. I don't want to get myself in any trouble. I promised I'd be nice. All right. Anything else, guys? Stephen Tate, what's up, dude? I appreciate you guys jumping in here. As always, once I'm trying to cut this at an hour. I don't want to get crazy. Hopefully, when we come back in 2 weeks, we're going to have our call-in device working, and that's just going to be for our members. That's $5 a month, guys. It's super cheap, and we're going to have some cool content in there. But by having this subscription site, it gives us a place for like Code Red to live and Hang Time and some of these other features where we can just be very raw. We don't have to, produce it for the masses. Anyway, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And there's a ton of good training stuff in there. There's discount codes in there you can't get that. Gio laughs at me like I'm being a salesman, but I'm like, honestly, you'll make money. If you just come in and use the discount codes, you're going to save more than $5 a month. So, go to WhiskeyThrottleClub.com. Anyway, what's up, Ping? Us liked the Joe interview. Who's next? That's Dep Wedge 1092. I've already shot 2 other shows. I don't want to mention who they are. So it's coming though. We have good shows coming up. So stand by. And I'm going to be off for the whole month of February, just working on this knee, but we've already shot shows to fill that month. So the shows will continue to drop regularly. I wish GL was still on the show, says eat commies. Yeah, well, he's too busy. But we're trying to get him in. When he gets kind of feeling better, we're going to get him in for some more regular Code Reds and stuff like that. So I love GL. So, but he's just dealing with some health issues right now. Okay, so let's see if I can leak it. No, I'm not leaking it. All right, guys. Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate everybody tuning in and joining us for this bullshit session. I enjoy doing them, and we'll typically have some guests. But if we don't, I'll just ramble on myself like this for a while. I still have fun doing it. I like talking to people. Like, this is kind of the whole idea, was just to be able to chat with you guys. PMF therapy, I already did it, dude. I did everything. Glenn, I did everything. I went to Mexico and got stem cells. I tried everything. It's done. Like arthritic, paper thin, and then I destroyed it on a fire. And so, like, there's nothing left to fix. Let's see. How is Jet's injury coming along? OC John says, I don't know. He's limping along on one of those little scooters. So, David Everett, hello from Australia, Ping. What's up, dude? Appreciate you jumping in. Bring in Mark Barnett. Duke Cannon says this. Listen, I tried so hard. I have tried so hard to get Mark Barnett in. And I told him, I'll go to you. I'll go to Alabama or wherever the hell you are now. We'll come down and we'll do it. And he has kind of gotten a little, and I think he was maybe always this way, but just old age tends to bring it on. He's super reclusive. And he got mad. I'm not even going to tell you who gave me his new phone number because he got a new phone. I got the number, and he's like, who gave you this phone number? And I know Mark. Like, when he was working for Dirtworks building tracks, that was when I was racing. So I had a nice relationship with him. Like, we'd always say hi and stuff. And he was mad that I had his phone number. Anyway, it didn't end well. And so, like, I don't think he's coming on. And I talked to his daughter, and she's like, yeah, he doesn't really talk to people or, So I wouldn't look for it. I wouldn't hold your breath if I could ever make it happen. I am talking to a guy who's really good friends with Kent Howerton. He's down in the Austin area, and he's like having some, I don't know if it's Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, might be Parkinson's. But I'm like, dude, I would love to have him on the show, soon. And so we're talking about as soon as I can walk and get around, I'm just going to fly out there and get it done. So stay tuned for that's going to be awesome. The Cowboy was awesome. The Rhinestone Cowboy. Race review with you and Barsha. I bet I can get Barsha in here right now. Maybe if he's around. I think he went to the UK. But next time he's in town, I would see that would be fun. That's a good idea. I'm not sure what you're asking here. Annihilate your buds. Did Jeff Beaver get the Vincent scrap on? Oh, the Vince Freezy? I don't think so. It was up either in the pits or top of the tunnel. So do some adventure bike reviews. We are going to. Not a ton, though. It's kind of out of our lane. Simon Cudby's got a really good thing over there. If you haven't seen his underground moto or underground, what's it called? Follow Simon Cudby. He's got really good adventure stuff. He's the man on that. So, anyways, you saw Mark Barnett in his prime, OC John. That dude was a savage. When you got guys like RJ and Wardy that I looked up to, and they'll tell you just, dude, Barnett was gnarly, so gnarly. When they're saying that, I mean, that's something. So, all right. Sans Pure NZ, Whiskey Throttle, the most underrated media. Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. We're trying. We're trying to do our own thing in our own way. I tell you, we do call it straight. I know a lot of people were mad that we were criticizing Deegan for his pass in San Diego, and it's like, well, I can give you my opinion. Doesn't mean I don't like him. He's freaking amazing. He's going to win this title likely, and he's amazing. But I can still call something I see out if I don't like it, right? Or I think this is the way I saw it. Some of the broadcasts, some of the people that are NBC funded, it's just so corporate, they can't say anything like that. And so we're trying to not make anybody mad. We're definitely not trying to do that, but also calling things how we see it. Need J-Law back on to do rewind shows. This is Lefty T, 790. He just want too much money or what? That dude is great, not unorthodox. Listen, I tried. I said, J-Law, we got this show you'd be so good on. Come on, we'll bring you on digitally somehow. And he'll text me about things he's doing. He'll just randomly text me. And then every time I text him about this, crickets. I get nothing back. So I don't know. I guess he doesn't want to do it. So it's okay. We love J-Law. And he ought to do his own if he doesn't want to do it with me, because he's really got analytical mind. If you saw the ones we did, maybe it was 2 years ago, he was awesome. J-Law can break stuff down. He remembers races from way back. Remember this happened and this happened. And I'm like, no, I don't remember that. He pulls stuff up and pulls it together, and he'll look at it from a way that, like, I don't even think about. So, anyway, crazy. Call all hombres drink Mr. T. I like that. Oh, that's Jeff Beaver. That's my guy. Okay, so order a Mr. T at your local bar and see what they do. Do a show fishing with Mookie. Yeah, that might be all right. I'm not a fisherman, but that would be actually pretty fun. Agreed. Love your content, especially the rider bike inside looks. Thank you, G Moore. Ufro and GL is a great dynamic. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. All right, no more glazing here. I'm going to get off. But I appreciate you guys jumping on. And every Sunday we'll be back, except next Sunday. Sorry, got to take a break. I'm going to be so clouded over with pills and general anesthetic. I would not make sense anyway. So quick shout out to El Jefe Energy. These guys have been really cool. We're trying to do some neat things with them. And anyway, we appreciate them. And also, this has been keeping me alive. Nano Extreme. If you're old or you got something that hurts, I'm not kidding. Try this stuff. It works. It works so well. Like, truly, that's kept me alive the last year. Okay, until our next Fishing with Mookie show, that's a sign off. We'll see you guys.